Today I'm visiting Tim Brock, who has found an innovative way to teach statistics to college students, especially those college students that aren't too comfortable doing mathematics. Today's exercise in his class is titled the Barbie Drop. Inside the Science Center now, let's go visit Professor Brock and talk about the idea behind the class. Okay, I'm here today with Professor Tim Brock, Professor of Mathematics at Manchester College. And I want to get the background on what he's doing that I think is really innovative in teaching math to students that don't feel especially comfortable with math. And I also want to get the kind of the skinny on the Barbie drop that I videoed, so we can see what the students were doing when they were dropping Barbies on bungee cords in the atrium of the Science Center. So here's a couple questions that I'm curious about, Tim. Number one, why do you think so many people are afraid of math?
I think that comes from somewhere along their education there was a topic that they didn't understand, or maybe they were sick for a few days, and so there was something that they didn't quite understand. And since math builds on itself so much, from that point on they were lost. And so they get to this attitude of, well, I didn't understand it, now I don't understand it anymore, I'm so far lost that they feel like they're just never going to recover. So it just keeps building and building and building, and the more math they take, as they're required to take math, they had a very weak foundation to begin with, so they just don't understand what's going on. It just keeps building, and not only does their lack of math ability build, but also the fear or the hatred, I guess, in some cases that they have sort of builds as they go along.
That resonates with my experience. So how might we do a better job of introducing young people to or teaching math?
I think one of the important points is getting people to understand that math isn't just memorizing procedures. Actually, I was just talking Sunday night at dinner. I went out to dinner with some friends, with somebody who was telling me that they had taken a stats class in college, a number of years ago, and they asked me at dinner, they said, what's the standard deviation? Why do we need to do it? They had taken the stats class, they'd learned how to do it, they had no idea what it was for, and they couldn't remember how to do it. And all that she knew was that she hated doing it. She just didn't understand why she had to do it, didn't want to do it ever again. And she hasn't done it ever again. So she asked me, why should people care about the standard deviation? And so I think that that's a problem, in that when we're teaching math, particularly with some of the state testing and national testing that has to happen, you lose why we learn math, and it becomes just a process of completing steps. And so I think that that's one thing that we need to do in math classes, go more towards teaching, this is why we're learning this is what this does. Here's the steps that make it happen, but this is why we need to learn it.
It's like, what's relevant?
Right.
My understanding would be the standard deviation shows the relevance of a number or a variance. Well, okay. So tell me about this course, quantitative reasoning.
Okay. So quantitative reasoning takes that idea of teaching people why and puts it into a college class. It's a lot of students who probably do have the weaker math background, and they're in majors that is not going to require a lot of math. And so the goal with this class is to make them be aware of statistics. And so we don't focus on computing statistics, although we do some of that. The focus is on understanding why we do statistics. And so, or interpreting statistics, saying, somebody else did it, this is what they got, what can you tell me about those results? And so hopefully all of my students can tell you what the standard deviation is. They might not be able to compute it by hand, but they can at least tell you what it means. And so that's kind of the purpose of this class, is getting students to understand why we do math, what are these numbers trying to tell us, rather than just memorizing formulas and plugging things in.
Last week you and I talked a little bit about how the order that a normal statistics class is taught in and how you've adjusted the order for this class. Would you explain that a little bit?
So with this class, I've decided that the way that I think that it would work best with this class is that we first talk about how to summarize statistics, and then how to interpret the data once you have it summarized, and then finally we talk about how to collect data. A lot of times in stats class you talk about how to collect the data first, but what I've noticed is that when you talk about how to collect data, people don't really know why they're collecting data or what data they should collect. And so with this, by the time they've seen how to interpret the data, how to represent the data, how to summarize the data, they know, okay, this is what I need to say. So it gives them a better idea of, these are the questions I need to ask in order to get what I want to say out of it. So I think that that makes it a little nicer for the students, because then when they are trying to, at the end of the semester, trying to come up with, how do I do a survey, they get questions that will get them the answers they want, rather than just saying, well, I'll ask 20 questions and see what I can say at the end.